Frank DeMarco.
Frank, yeah, Frank, and then he's got a CMO, and he's got this really skinny CFO that's a cool dude, really nice guy. Anyway, they're all sitting next to me, and they all start talking. And they go, "You want to know Leland's secret? Is he's here all day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You could catch him there." He goes, "He's got a passion for working," and I got to tell you this. He might have sacrificed a lot. I know he's got kids, but I got to tell you, when you love what you do. Now, listen. There's no sacrifice for not making it to a soccer game of your kids or seeing them play the violin for the first time but when you love what you do, it's not work. And sometimes you got to pinch yourself and say, you got to leave. You got kids. You got a relationship. But if you love it that much, and Victor, one thing you said to me, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm going to because that's what I do, is you said, you love to teach more than you love to run the business. And I don't know exactly. I know some of your employees might watch, and I know you absolutely love taking care of them and giving them as much. But you also said, and you don't, look, I'm not trying to put you on the spot like the little secret you told me, but you said, I love helping more at a time because you made so many mistakes and you get more out of it. And see, I don't like training as much of people. I like telling them my story, but I'd rather be working in the business and on the business, but in the business. I share these stories, and I love the people that want to listen and come through for tours, but you have a passion to teach. I've got a passion. It's a different type of passion. Explain that to me. So,
and maybe it could be misconstrued. So I love my business, right? I love growing the business. So like the day-to-day, the beating down every number and knowing yes, like at this point, like I have to know that, I know that stuff, but what gets me excited, like I communicate with people all over the country, and I have partners that were in other states, and when I give them an idea, right, and they go run with it, and I watch it take off for them. But it's like an idea I've already been using. I implement on me, and I say, hey, go try this, right? And I watch them, they come back, they're like, dude, it's double my revenue, or it's done this or that. I'm like, hey, I just get excited. I've always been like that my whole life. I'm a giving person, and I try to help as many people as I can. But to say, I want to be part of the business as long as it's talking about growing. But if it's like the day-to-day mundane stuff, like I have to hire people for that. I have bad ADD. I don't like that little stuff, but I do love my business and growing it. But if it came down to it, I said, hey, I can never go help anybody again, or I can have this giant, I can have this $1 billion business, but I can never help anybody again, then I wouldn't take the $1 billion business, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, because you think I like to run an Excel sheet and say, ooh, look at this. Look what I think about. No, hell no.
Fuck no.
I got things that I'm working on here when I get in the morning. I'm working on rehash for sales and service, upsells on the way to the house, internal text messages to remind my employees about recruiting, getting an appointment scheduled because we're having a hard time with that, yearly updates for their tune-up. And then I'm also working on geofencing, all the supply houses, and TikTok for recruiting. And I get to whiteboard and create a whole process and then go over with my team, cross things out, erase stuff, fix them, and then A/B test it and then see the results. That to me is that's
fun. That's fun.
But I get to do this all day, every day. And then I get to talk to people and say, how'd it work? They go, dude, it was great, but here's what I would switch. Okay, awesome. I'm going to give that out to 3 guys. Dude, it worked, but I'd like to do this. Boom, I'm going to give that out to 10 guys. Then all of a sudden you say, we just moved the needle 30% in 1 month. Like that shit just makes me go, it's so much fun. And people are like, dude, you like to whiteboard? I like to whiteboard everything. Like to me, it's like, look, I got a freaking marker here. I whiteboard all the time because, I'm always working on processes. I'm always working on the pieces and mixing them up and saying, let's figure this out. And I got to tell you, the exponential growth, when we sat down for dinner.
Yeah.
And Joe was nice enough to take us out. And I think I got bidded the most, by the way, I don't know. But he did a charity raffle and maybe I got the most, who knows. But what's so fun about this business is the math equation of acquisitions. That to me is like, it starts to get really, really fun when you can see that if there's businesses out there right now, Victor, that can't get supplies, they can't get human beings to show up to work. They can't figure out if they're profitable. They've got 25 calls coming in a day, but they can't book them because they don't have the employees. And the employees they do have, they're working to death. And I'm like, man, imagine if we work together. Imagine if because I got things that you don't, and you get 25 calls a day without even marketing. And it's just that to me is the things that I was showing you. I feel like it's taken me years to kind of figure out. But dude, you got to understand, man. The only other thing I know that's worth more than what we're doing is software could be worth 20 to 25 times revenue, but it takes long. And I'll tell you this, the one thing I do know, well, I know this, my thing's recession proof. And software that I know, it takes, look, you got Apple that was able to grow, you got Microsoft, you got some software companies that have done pretty well. And to have like fintech and to have those things, yes, they're great, but there's such an opportunity cost. I mean, look, you're going after something right now, and ServiceTitan is a $12 billion company. But what happens is when they start buying out companies and become the leader, you know that you're always going to get challenged when you're at the top. You know that no matter what. Facebook's got challenged before.